It was just a regular day in Ponyville. Rainbow Dash were at the market to buy some food for herself and her pet Tank when she ran into some pony. It was actually her friends Applejack and Fluttershy. They were just out there also to buy some food when Applejack said something that surprised and shocked Rainbow, and it was a name she hasn't heard in a while: Lightning Dust. It turns out that lightning dust had been seen in Ponyville only about a day earlier. She had Rainbow had even seen lightning dust ever since the washout incident when Scoolaloo was about to do a very, very dangerous stunt. Are you sure it was actually lightning dust? Rainbow asked. Yes, said Applejack. I heard that she had moved here to Ponyville about a day ago. She was a little surprised that lightning dust had moved to Ponyville. Couldn't even believe it. But then she asked, "Where? Do you know exactly where she lives in Ponyville?" But both Applejack and Fluttershy shook their head. They had no idea exactly where she was living, but Applejack suggests that May live somewhere outskirts of Ponyville like Fluttershy do. Ever since the washout incident, it is possible that she preferred to be alone. But there was another thing that even come across Rainbow's mind. Why would Lightning Dust move to Ponyville of all places? Ever since the washout incident, this would be the last place that she would even consider to stay in. Ever since ponies in Ponyville would recognize her immediately, especially like Rainbow and her friends in Scootaloo. But she was a little bit surprised that any of this actually happened. That she moved to Ponyville after all what happened in the past. But even when Fluttershy said, "Rainbow, I know you may be angry towards Lightning Dust, but just if you see her, don't be mad at her. Don't be mad at her? You know what she did almost to Scootaloo, our friend. She could have been a serious injured or even been killed if she had happened to perform that stunt. You know that Fluttershy," said Rainbow with a bit angry tone. But Applejack said, "Listen, listen, Rainbow. We both know it could have been dangerous for her. But luckily though that you stopped her from performing before doing it. Be glad that you were able to be there in time. But if you do see Lightning Dust, don't take out your anger towards her. And who knows, she may have regret for what she did." "I know," said Rainbow. And this continued small talk for only about a few minutes before they all had to leave. Rainbow went back home, where she gave Tank some food and she had something to eat while she was reading her new Daring Do book. Even though that she tried to focus on something else, but the thought of that the lightning dust had moved to Ponyville, or at least maybe in the outskirts of town, was shocking. Ever since the washout incident, she didn't even believe that lightning dust would even dare to even move or be in approach like Ponyville for all places. But at least she didn't thought more about it. For the next couple of days, the thought of the memory of lightning dust was just back in her mind. She didn't even thought more about it. Because one day when she was out flying, she overheard a voice that, "Rainbow!" Rainbow stopped, looked around, but saw no pony. She looked down, but no pony either. So she just shrugged and continued. But then she heard another again. "Rainbow! Wait! And then she stopped again and looked around, but still no point at all. She first maybe thought that it could have been the wind, but then she realized that there was not much as a wind that day, and the wind would even make sound, or at least words, just like rainbow wait. So she looked around again and then looked up and saw lightning dust sitting on a cloud. And before she could say anything, she heard Rainbow, wait, can we talk? Even though that Rainbow preferred just fly away from that place, but she remembers what Fluttershy told her. Not to be angry towards her, she may have regret what she did in the past. Even though that Rainbow had some doubts that in that case wouldn't be the truth. But she was willing to give Lightning Dust a moment to talk. So she just suggested they landed on the ground so they have their compensation. So both landed. Lightning Dust stood about 2 feet away from Rainbow. But before Rainbow could say anything, Lightning Dust just looked on the ground at first and at her, and even though what Rainbow was first looking with anger towards her, she was shocked. Lightning Dust was crying. She was literally crying. And no fake tears this time. And she said, Rainbow, I know what I did in the past were unforgivable. Unforgettable? Especially what you put my friend Skululu almost through at the washout incident? I know. I know that was reckless for me. Reckless? That is the overstatement, said Rainbow. You almost put her in such serious harm. She could even be in serious injury or even been killed. I know. You know, and you still almost put her through it? She said, angrily. But listen, I didn't want to do that in the first place. The others, they told me to. Rainbows just looked at her. What do you mean? And it turns out, when Lightning Dance mentioned that the other Washouts members, they actually were very encouraged that Skululu to take part of this new stunt. But when Lightning Dust heard which particular stunt that Skululu was going to be performing, she realized that was one of the most dangerous. Even they had even done it before. Well, at least a couple of times with training. But realized that Skululu is just a filly, and they're full-grown mares or grown adults. So she tried to convince the others to let to put up some sort of safety net or some protection if something would go wrong. But they decided not to do that. Rainbow was just shocked. So you really wanted to protect Scootaloo? I hardly believe. But it's honest truth, Rainbow. Do you think I would put a filly for that such danger? No. If she was my own sister or my daughter, I wouldn't even put her through that kind of danger. You don't think I would to put any such ponies in such harm? Believe me, if that was me and I wasn't aware of the danger, do you think I would go through it? Probably, said Rainbow. Yeah, well, I would never do that, said Light and Dust. But listen, I know after that incident, you didn't want to see me or her anyone again. But believe me, ever since then, I really regretted all of that. And Rainbow could somehow realize sense that Lightning Dust were telling the truth. But how could that be true though? Because Lightning Dust has never been such honest about her performance before. Even back in Wonderbolt Academy, she was never that such. She didn't care if she put others in danger. But though she realized those ponies were actually around the same age herself. And Skululu was probably like 10 or 12 at that point. And it was different. Alright, let's say if you are telling the truth. Why did you try to stop that performance to even happen in the first place? I wanted to, but if I did, they would have kicked me out. And would it have stopped you? No, probably not, said Lightness. I know that what I did was the baddest thing I ever done. And there hasn't been a single day I regret that decision. The others they told me, if you don't make that Philly make the stunt, you will be out of washouts permanently. So even if you were about to do it, why did you even warn us about it first? So that we can be in there stop it from even happening, said Rainbow calmly. I wished I could. But he also said, if you will tell anyone or any pony about this stunt before it is happening, you will still be out of washouts, and we will never take you back. I see, said Rainbow. Even you did have the option, the opportunity to tell me or my friends about this, and you didn't take it? Said Rainbow angrily. Rainbow, no, listen to me. I know, I know you wanted to be on a part of the washouts or one of the Wonderballs. But what you did to my friend, I don't know if I'd even want to forgive you. Or any pony would even do. Believe me, I know. How do you know? I know that you probably will never forgive me, whatever. Even if I would try my best to make you forgive me, or at least Skululu, you know, the only pony that you should forgive, ask for forgiveness, is me. It's Skululu. After all, you were the one who put almost her in such danger. If there's someone pony who to ask forgiveness, it is her, not me, said Rainbow. I know that, but I'm not so sure if she even wanted to talk to me. Well, that is something I would have agreed to. But in the end, we all had to move on from our bad past, regardless of what mistakes we did, and we all deserved a second chance, said Rainbow. And if you want to talk and ask forgiveness for Rain Squirreloo, I can take it to her, and but I can't promise if she even want to forgive you. That is the risk I'm willing to take, said Like the Dust. So they both went into Ponyville. They didn't know Rainbow didn't know exactly where Squirreloo were, but she found her at the park with her friends Sweetie Belle and Apple. They were actually happy to see that Rainbow was there, but their smiles turned into shock when they saw Light Dust behind her. Rainbow said, Scootaloo, what is she doing here? Scootaloo said, she's here to ask you one thing. And Light Dust walked up and said that she wanted to ask for forgiveness. And she did say the same thing as what she told Rainbow. Even though that Light and Dust were expecting maybe that Scootaloo wouldn't forgive her. But to her, in her surprise, Scootaloo did forgive her. Even that she said that she will do anything to make it possible to be forgiven. But she were. Even after all this, even Scootaloo self were actually willing to even forgive Lightness. After they had a talk with Scootaloo, Rainbow took with Lightning Dust to her home where they can have some talk. Just talk about something else and try to move on. So, what are you going to do now then? She asked when Lightning sitting on the couch. I don't know. Are you still going to live here in Ponyville or move away, far away from here? I don't know. I don't have much family left here. I cannot go back to Cloudsdale because I don't know if Ponyville will even accept me back. They probably would bully me, but if that happened, I will take it as much as I would deserve it. No pony deserves to be bullied. Not you. Even you. Every pony is actually deserves a second chance. And Scootaloo is willing to give you a second chance. So am I. That is surprising for me saying though, said Rainbow Dash with a smile, but I'm willing to give you a second chance to prove yourself. Are you serious? Said Lightning Dust. Yes, I am. But you know something though. Even if you want to stay here in Ponyville, you probably would need something that could help you to reconnect with the community and make some new friends here. Maybe some type of job or something. Maybe with some point like with your talents, your speed, your braveness. I don't know what that can be a job. A baker, like does said, and Rainbow laughed. No, we have Pinky for that, and the Cake family for taking care of that. I think I may have an idea. What is it? How about a male pony? A male pony? Yeah, think about it. The male ponies here always need some extra help, especially if there are some deliveries in far distance from Ponyville that would need some pony who's fast and would even be brave enough to fly even in this middle of the night or if it's a bad weather. You know, that would something like I would do, but in the end, I have no idea if any pony will actually hire me. Well, good for know for that. I actually have a friend who works at the post office. It's a good friend of mine. But I'm not so sure if she would hire you. But it is always a chance to ask, though. Lightly Dust nodded and realized Rainbow had a point. So they actually decided to go to this post office right away, just to see. And Rainbow was actually talking to Derpy, who was apparently the one that pony that she was talking about. And even though when they talked for about a moment when Derpy decided to have this small short interview with Linus. She wanted to know exactly like if she's fast and if she has good location direction or if something like that or if she have worked anything with the post service or deliveries before. She said that she was fast and was brave and she had a good direction location that she has a good directional sense but never worked as a post office or delivery. Derby said that she was willing to hire Lightning for 3 weeks as a trial to see if she would put up for it. Lightning was just happy to that this would happen. So for the next 3 weeks, Lightning proved all her skills to be as a mail pony. She was able to deliver some mails, packages in the middle of the night or in the middle of the early morning or even when it's a bad weather. One time she even flew through when it was a very strong rainstorm was approaching. Even the regard that she was not supposed to be doing it, but she did it anyway. She wasn't even Derpy was very much proud and surprised at how dedication the Lighty Dust did prove and showed for her willingness to be as a male pony. And after 3 weeks, Derpy hired officially Lighty Dust. And for that, Derpy was actually proud to have a new male pony colleague. And Rainbow She and Lighty Dust went to Sugarcane Corner to celebrate with her friends, because even during these 3 weeks, the others of Twilight and the other friends they had, they also accepted Lighty Dust. Even though in the beginning they were skeptical about this supposed to be new, good personality that she was having. They first believed that maybe it was just a trick, but after showing over the past 3 weeks her willingness, her dedication to be a male pony proved them wrong. She actually was willing to give any pony her a second chance to be it. And now when she was officially hired at the post office, she was actually happy. Not only had a job to look up to, and new friends. And eventually, almost every pony in town had actually accepted her as a friend. It would even take long for every pony in town to do so. But during the party that Pinky had arranged, a small party to celebrate this, that Lightning Dust now was now a male pony. During the party, Lightning Dust walked up to Rainbow and said, "You know, Rainbow, none of this wouldn't have been possible for you." "Me?" "Yeah. I mean, you were actually giving me a chance to prove myself, and even was willing to give me a second chance to prove that I could do this, despite knowing that you probably say, 'Oh no, she would never be go back to her old ways again.' But I never did, and I proved that to you, haven't I?" "You should have," said Rainbow. "And not only that, that Scootaloo and the others have forgiven me. They given me a second chance to prove it. And I actually have been showing dedication to my new job as a male pony. Regardless of what time it is or what the weather is, I'm willing to give as much what I want to 110%. There's only 100%, I know, just, I wanted to say that." Both laughed and said, "Yeah, that's something like you would say. But in any case, I'm just happy to be here, being allowed, being welcome to a small town like Ponyville. I just, I'm happy to have made new friends here and found a new purpose." Even though that Rainbow actually had told Lightning Dust she would be willing to be talking to Spitfire to allow her back as a wonderful for serves. But Lightning Dust declined the offer. She said, "That time is past. My dream to be a Wonderbolt, well, even though I wish I could be a Wonderbolt, but I'm happy to where I am now. And not only that, oh, but also to have a true friend like you. You know, I'm actually proud to say I'm happy to have you as my true friend too," said Rainbow with a smile. "Let's celebrate for that." They both laughed and went back to the party. If Rainbow had even given Lightning Dust a second chance to prove herself to at least willing to prove it, Lightning Dust probably wouldn't even have stayed in Ponyville at all. She probably had left before even all this happened. But that Rainbow was willing to give Lightning Dust a second chance was something that Lightning Dust is very grateful for to happen. Not only that Rainbow, but Scootaloo also was willing to give her a second chance, and he forgave her. Even if it would take time for every pony in town to accept her as a friend, despite knowing about her watch out incident. Even though that, like she said, what makes that our bad past is we learn from our bad mistakes and that we learn from it to improve ourselves in the future. That was actually something that Rainbow agreed with. Every pony can make some bad mistakes in the past, but they always make up it. They might try to improve themselves in the future. If Lightning Dust had even had arrived to Ponyville, this second chances and her job may not have even had happened either. But she was brave enough to even willing to do so. And she was just happy that Rainbow actually gave her a second chance to prove that she could improve herself. And even for Rainbow, she was really happy to have not only made a new friend, but a true friend. And this is how Rainbow Dash and Lightning Dust found a true friend. The end.